Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Rivera Wolfson, and I am an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. And I am here to, I don't know, give you hope, give you some strategies to get through this insane ow as I burn myself on my little incense sticks. Uh, okay, there we go. I did it. I did it. They are sticking in the little sand. Okay. Trying to give you some hope to survive the crazy world that we live in. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? Okay, so how are we all doing today? Say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you've been watching the 7-part series. Today we are working on part 6. Yes. So let's talk about that, right? If you've been watching and following along over the last week and this week, we have been talking about the 7 steps to healing emotional wounds. And last week and this week, the topics that we've covered have been, and this is how to navigate. Hold on, let me see if I can turn off that noise. I don't know. Maybe. Wish me luck. Okay. And so what the 7 steps to healing emotional wounds really is what to do if you are faced with a trigger, right? Or a situation or a person, something happens and it causes you to have a strong or visceral emotional reaction. And typically, when I talk about these things, we're not talking about a super happy reaction, because that you wouldn't want support with. Because I don't know anybody who wants support in managing their happiness or managing their excitement. I mean, maybe, well, listen, if you've ever seen me get really excited about something, chances are you've heard somebody else be like, chill out. Okay, but we're not talking about that. And we're definitely not chilling out when it's something good and exciting. Just want to put that out there. But typically, when we have a visceral reaction to something, it is a trigger. Often, it is something that is activated in us that kind of is a little arrow, not a little one, a big arrow pointing to a part in us that needs to be healed, pointing to a part in us that needs to be seen. And that's actually what this entire process is. It's about, okay, something happened and it's causing this incredible emotional reaction. What is going on? So the first step is we name it. Well, I feel angry. Great. Then you validate it, right? I am angry because this person said something really hurtful. Okay, so it's valid that you feel angry. The next one is you contemplate it. Maybe you go, well, I'm really angry and this person definitely said something hurtful, but why is it causing such a reaction in me? Right. And that's how you start to uncover the root causes of these emotional triggers. And then next, right, you own it. And what does that look like? Well, I'm angry. And I'm angry for a good reason because this person said something hurtful. But deep down, what it's really reflecting is that I'm dealing with some abandonment issues where I feel like, people don't really see me, people don't really validate the work and what I do for them. So then the owning it part is, where do I abandon myself? And where have I not validated what I do, right? And so that's the owning it part. And then you transform it, right? And then you're like, yes, I'm angry. Yes, that person was really mean and I have a right to be angry. I also recognize that this anger is coming from something deeper. Um, I know that this anger is coming from me feeling abandoned. And I know that I have abandoned myself every time I say yes to someone when I really want to say no, or when I stretch myself too thin to please others. Okay. So now I'm going to change that, and I'm going to set up a boundary around if someone asks me for something or if somebody asks for my support, I'm going to check in with myself first and make sure that I have the capacity to say yes. I have the capacity to help, right? So that is how we start to kind of move through these emotional wounds and recognize where they're coming from and recognize new choices and potentially new actions that we can take when faced with those things again. And so now what's left, right? That's pretty much seems like we've got it covered. Well, today we were talking about embodying it, right? So you've identified how you feel, we've gone through it. Now it's time to act in alignment with that vision, right? So now we put it into practice, right? What's the whole me first philosophy? Like, what do I stand on and repeat ad nauseum every single day? Practice, practice, practice. Okay. In real estate, it's location, location, location. Okay. In the healing world, right? And in personal evolution, it's practice, 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 right? Whatever is happening right now, whatever you're doing right now, if it's working, keep practicing. If it's not working, keep practicing. Try something else, make some adjustments, right? And then practice, practice, practice. That's how you get used to it. Okay. So, today we're going to be talking about like how do you want to feel and what actions support the emotions and that emotional life that you're calling in, right? That's our GPS word. So like what actions support the GPS word, which is the foundational feeling that you want to bring into your life, that you want to create or that you want to embody, right? And of course, you're going to ask yourself, how can you embody joy, safety, and validation, right? Because that's all we want to feel at the end of the day is we all want to kind of feel happy, right? We all want to feel safe and we all want to feel valid in our life experience. And it begins with you. You have to validate yourself first above all. Before you look for somebody else's validation, before you get permission from somebody else, before you like go checking the list and making sure that you've, done or achieved other people's expectations, you first have to check in with yourself and see that you are paying attention to yourself and your needs. Okay, so let's start our little warm up, do our little breathing ritual, right? And then we'll talk a little bit more about these lessons. Okay, so number one, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. See, like automatically, my breath already starting to happen. I mean, we do that, right? We automatically breathe. Oh, excuse me. All sorts of things happening in my body right now. Okay, so we are going to take 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, I want you to imagine all of the love, light, and life force energy entering into your body. Okay, and then you're going to hold. And as you hold, you're going to allow that energy to go through your body, hitting every cell and dissolving and dissipating anything that no longer serves you. And as you exhale your breath after that break, you are going to release all the things that don't serve you and ask Mother Nature to just transmute it or give it to some part of nature that needs the crap to recycle into something good. Okay. Because, like, that's what happens, right? I don't know why. I don't know why some parts of nature need the stuff we don't need, but that's how it works. It's this beautiful, balanced ecosystem. And it's natural. It works that way. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So let's take our 3 deep breaths. Okay. Deep breath in now and hold and release. Okay. We're going to take another deep breath. Like my body can't even stop. It needs to breathe. Okay. Take another deep breath in and hold and release. Okay. Last one. Let's really make it. Oh my God. I didn't turn on my candle. I didn't turn on the candle. It's because I had the incense and it got me distracted because I was like, I already lit something today. Okay. I have not. Anyway, candles on. Let's do the last breath together. Okay. Here we go. And release. Sometimes I need to close my eyes so that I am not taking in any other information and so that I can focus on the breath so I too can get into my body. Maybe that's something you need to do. Not everybody does. Okay, let's do a little stretching. Not everybody needs to close their eyes, but if you find that you need to because you kind of get sensory overload with your eyes open, or you're finding it hard to like really get into your body with your eyes open, then just close your eyes and take away one of those senses, right? It'll help you focus. Like hot. Okay, let's do a little stretching. Okay, I like to do the stretching. You want to stretch because you want to kind of just like get your body loose, right? You want, and the stretching helps release that like stuck energy, right? Like all that tension or pain that you're feeling. It's like stuck energy, just like lodged in. We want to release it. We want to get rid of it, right? And then after we stretch, we shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Ooh, ugh, I need to shake my head. Okay. Whatever. Enjoy, people. Enjoy the insanity. Okay. I hope you're liking it. I know I am. All right, so I'm going to call in our spiritual support team, and I'm going to do this in a way that feels resonant with my spiritual beliefs. And I ask you to do the same thing for you. Either sit quietly or meditate or say a prayer to your spiritual support team. I will do that now, and we will call them in asking for support as we set our intentions for the day. Okay, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me and helping all of us set an intention for the highest good and for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pull and the words that people say today and always. I appreciate you, I serve you, and I am grateful for any and all messages you may have for me and the collective today. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay, so now I'd like to just take a little moment and set your intention with your GPS word, right? Or set your intention however you feel comfortable. But if you do have a GPS word and you've gone through the exercises, then now is when you reflect on it and you can kind of sit with it and understand, and set the intention to embody your GPS word today. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the GPS word, then you can go in the description and look for the free transformational guide and just press on that link. That will describe to you how to get your GPS word and a few other energy hacks that I really talk about a lot on this show. So go ahead and download that. That is free. While you are in the description, then go ahead and also just click on my YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe and ding that notification bell so you know when I'm going live and you can watch, and also you can spread the word. I really do appreciate your likes, your comments, and sharing my videos with others that you feel may benefit, because that helps me. So thank you. All right. And my calendar is still open. So if you are looking for a personal reading or a couples reading, whether you want to do a strategy session because you're looking for the life strategist aspect of my of what I do, or if you're looking for a card reading because you're looking more for that kind of guidance, then go ahead and make an appointment using the link in the description. Okay, my mouth is still like I feel slow, maybe because I just woke up, or it's perimenopause. I don't know. We're gonna have like a symptom count, like I should have a little counter here, like maybe, oh, I didn't include my guys, I just noticed I didn't include my logo because I was pointing to this and I realized my logo isn't there. So maybe underneath here, we'll do like a perimenopausal symptom count. So when I start getting hot flashes or when I start having brain fog and I can't find my words, we'll just start digging those little counters and start adding it up. And at least it will be entertaining for you while I try to find my words. Okay, but in the meantime, we don't need to do that right now. And we're just going to go ahead and we are going to talk about how to embody um, embody what you want from life. Okay, so we are talking about this is the sixth step or sixth step, step six. Okay, in healing your emotional wounds, right? One, two, three, four, five, six. We have seven. We have seven steps. Today is on step six, and this is we're diving into embodying it. Now, what does embodying it mean? So, this is where we stop waiting for others to give us what we need, and we become it ourselves. This happens through practice, right? Because we've been told that things, we need validation from others, we need acceptance from others, we need to connect with other people's expectations, we have rules and other things to follow from others. But this concept and the way I talk about in healing your wounds is you kind of turn it on its head and you're not worried about others anymore. You turn that mirror inward, right? And you turn your contemplation inward and you start to think about how do I show up for myself, right? Instead of expecting someone to show up for me or take care of me or solve my problems for me. Not that you don't need help, that's a different topic. I believe it's always better together. But you cannot go to someone else for a solution when you have not yet contemplated what it is that you want, what it is that you need, right? And what it is that is important to you and what your priorities are, right? You have to be crystal clear on what you want and how you want to show up in the world. And then, and only then, do you go outside of yourself, perhaps for some help or some advice on how to get there, on how to take some steps, maybe some examples of people who have done the things that you want to do. And so you may ask, hey, how did you get that done? Because that's my goal. And that is very different than feeling lost and being like, somebody help me solve my problem. Okay. And not that we can't solve each other's problems. Like, I'm a big fan and proponent of, being in community and supporting each other and trying to figure things out together. But you have to be clear on who you are and what you stand for and how you want to show up before letting other people's thoughts, opinions, and expectations enter into your energetic field, because then you're going to be all confused, right? If you don't know who you are and you don't know what you want, and this is not a judgment, right? Because we have been conditioned to leave ourselves out of the equation, right? We have been conditioned to ignore our instincts and conditioned to ignore our needs. We've been conditioned to take care of others first and foremost before ourselves. And I am not advocating for selfishness, but I am advocating for filling your own cup. And then the overspill will benefit everybody, right? I'm an advocate of putting on your own oxygen mask, and then you can think clearly and you can breathe easily in order to help someone else put on their oxygen mask. Me first is the whole concept. And that is where this the 7 steps of healing your wounds really integrates the me first principles and helps you to put yourself first and helps you to understand your contribution to your suffering. Okay, because each of us contribute to our suffering with our perspective, with our choices, with our actions or lack of actions. Not to say that there isn't suffering that's coming from the outside in. Hell yes, there is suffering. There is structural systems that are preventing us from flowing easily and living in our bliss. But you have to be clear, a clear vision of what you want and who you want to be in order to then be able to meet those challenges, right? And then embody the feeling, embody the actions, embody the solutions that you're looking for, right? You have to embody them. No one else is going to do it for you, right? This is sort of that concept of, I've talked about it before, where it's like this, where you say like this. So, you say to the universe, I want fairness. People are not being fair. I feel like life is unfair for me. Okay, so let's say that fairness is the thing you want to embody the most. So you have to start asking yourself, how can I be fair to myself? How can I show up giving fairness or creating fairness or embodying fairness? right? It's your responsibility to say to the universe, like this, right? This is what I'm looking for. And then you do it for someone else, or you do it for yourself, and you show the universe, like this is fair. You see this and this is fair, right? Universe, this is validation. I want to be validated. I did a really good job and I feel great about myself. And, whatever it is that you do in order to validate yourself, in order to give yourself the things that you need, that is your way of showing the universe, like this, right? I want to feel love like this. I want to feel admired and respected like this, which means you have to admire and respect yourself. And a little spoiler for tomorrow, you have to embody that and create it for others as well. Okay, but that's tomorrow. That will be sharing the feeling that you've created for yourself. But I won't jump ahead, but that's a little sneak peek at what's coming tomorrow. Okay, now you have to ask yourself, how can you show up for yourself fully, right? How can you create or embody those feelings? Let's take the example from the beginning, right? The example from the beginning is that somebody said something mean to you, right? And it made you angry, right? And then you validate it and say, wow, they were really mean. That was uncalled for. And then you contemplate it and think, why did that trigger me so much? Oh, they called me a terrible mom. And deep down inside, maybe I think I'm terrible. So that's where the wound comes from, where I think I am not a good enough mom, right? Or a good enough, whatever, fill in the blank that you're dealing with, right? So then you move on and you've now contemplated it and now you own it. You know what? I am a good mom. I um and then you go and you share with yourself and you find the evidence of how you are a good mom, of how that situation that you have built up, that limiting belief that you've created in your head, you have to break it down so that it is not true, right? And then here we embody it, right? And so how can I take steps to be a better mom, to show up as the version of me that I want to for my children, right? What is that version of mom that I want to embody? Like, what does me as a mom who's happy and fulfilled look like? Right? What actions does she take? How does she make her decisions? Right? How does that version of me that feels really connected to my motherhood, right? That understands that everything I do is part of the process, right? And that um, everything I do comes from love, right? And I set boundaries appropriately and I support appropriately. If I really knew how to be a wonderful mother, what does it look like for me to feel like a good mother? And how can I lean into decisions and actions that support that feeling of being connected to my children, of being a supportive mother? And that is the reflection that I need to take. Now, whatever that situation is for you, and it might not be, it could have been something else that happened. It could have been you lost your job, right? And so you're legitimately upset and frustrated and hurt that you lost your job, right? And so like the thing that happened, right, you got triggered, right? You got triggered. You're angry that you lost your job, right? And then you go deeper down into the layers and you start to do some introspection and you realize that deep down, you losing your job makes you feel that maybe you're not valuable anymore or you don't have any worth, right? And so then you ask yourself, how am I not validating my worth? Where am I supporting this limiting belief that I have nothing to offer society anymore? Right. And then you got to own it and be like, you know what? I do have a lot to offer. And you come up with ways for you to connect with that part of you that contributes, with that part of you that feels worthy, with that part of you that is absolutely certain that you can get another job and contribute to the world and you're not going to be left in the dust. Okay. And then how do you embody that successful, valuable version of yourself, right? How do you make decisions knowing that you are valuable? What actions do you take if you are certain of your value, if you are certain of your worth? How do you decide what to do? What kinds of people do you associate with, right? Where is your focus and your time and attention if you are a valuable and contributing member of society, right? And this is how we break it down into tiny little steps and think, what is it that I want to feel the most, right? And that's really what this whole process does, is it takes you from, that trigger or that thing that happened that activated a wound in you, and then it allows you to slowly peel away at that onion and get down to the bottom of it, so that the next time that you are faced with an uncomfortable situation, or you are faced with someone or something or a situation that triggers you, then you can slowly start to recognize, oh, wow, like I didn't even see that I have this wound here that I need to attend to, right? That I need to address, right? And what happens when you find a wound, right? If you go to the doctor, you go to the hospital, and you're like, wow, I've got this gash, okay? And it's like this festering, bleeding, gross thing, okay? So what do? They have to clean it out, right? They got to take all the gunk out. And that's you seeing, right? And you validating, oh, that's a lot of gunk. Oh, God, I can't believe that's there, right? And then what do you do once you clean it out? Then you put a Band-Aid on it, which is setting boundaries to protect that wound, right? And then maybe you also have new information as to how to avoid getting that infection again, right? And there's certain steps that you're like, oh, the last time, I did this and this, that caused the infection. So you may be like, okay, I cannot do that anymore because I do not want to create this infection. I don't want to take off this Band-Aid and start throwing dirt on it, because then it's just going to become this terrible infection again. And it is your responsibility to protect that wound and to create the conditions for that to heal, right? And so the next time, somebody pulls off that Band-Aid and throws some salt in your wound, you know that all you got to do is go to the sink, rinse it out, cry, because salt in the wound will hurt, process it, do what you got to do. And then once again, just repeat, right? Practice, practice, practice. Okay. I do have journal questions for you. Okay. And here are the journal prompts that I have for you. Okay. And they're in the description. So, number one, what do I need most today? And how can I give it to myself? Okay. Number two, what actions create the feelings I desire to experience? And how can I feel safe taking that action? Okay. So, what do I need to do most today? And how can I give it to myself? Number two, what actions create the feelings that I want to feel most, that I want to embody most? And how can I feel safe doing them? And number three, how can I embody or create the version of me that reflects my greatest sense of well being? Right? So, like when you feel your best, and I want you to imagine yourself feeling your best. And what does that look like? Where are you? What are you doing? Why do you feel your best? And I want you to try and capture the essence of that moment, the essence of that well being, and recreate it and embody it in every situation that you can in your life. And that takes practice, because it's really hard to be relaxed, like you might be at the beach, drinking a margarita, when you're home and the kitchen's a mess and you have 7 loads of laundry that you refuse to do, right? So, how can you embody that beachy freedom feeling? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. For me, I can tell you that sometimes I will go out into my backyard, and I have a little birdhouse with food that I give to the birds, and I have little bunnies in the backyard. And I literally just sit out in my backyard and I take a few deep breaths, and I have a little water element, and I close my eyes and I listen to that water element so that I can get back into my peaceful state and then walk back into the kitchen and do what I need to do. All right. So, what is your method of creating the conditions for you to feel safe doing what you need to do? That is your job. And please share in the comments below if you're watching, or send me a message or an email or a DM, and let me know how you are processing this information and how you are implementing the things that I'm talking about here, because I'd really like to know. Okay, time for me to pull a card, and then I got to roll because I got things to do. I have yes, I'm going to another organizing client today. It is rewarding work, let me tell you. I don't always go to clients' houses, but when I do, I just find it really rewarding. And that's sort of like that better together piece, right? Sometimes it's just hard for you to clean up your own stuff because you get all caught up in it, right? Whether that's physical clutter where you need a professional organizer, or whether that's emotional and energetic clutter where you need a coach to help you. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what the cards have to say to us today about embodying your state of being, your state of well-being. Okay. Okay. I really gotta go there. I don't know, cards. What do you want to say today? Babe, talk to me. Talk to me. Isn't that a horror movie? Talk to me. Talk to you. Talk to me, I think. That was a crazy movie. Okay. All right. Let's see what these cards want to say to us about embodying. Anything? Anything? No, nothing. You don't like that? All right, let's try it again. Oh. Okay, I just want one card. And I'll tell you the card that came out. The one that flipped that I feel is most. It's the Three of Swords. Okay. And what is the Three of Swords? The Three of Swords is heartbreak. I mean, you don't need to be a genius or a tarot reader to see this card and be like, ugh. Okay. But the Three of Swords and it is heartbreak. It is our wounds. It is facing our wounds, right? And embodying it is understanding that we can't make the wounds go away. We can't make the hurt go away. It doesn't disappear. We can't ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. What we have to do is acknowledge it and move through it and let it inform your future, but not in a way where you never let go of the past. Okay. This is not where you never let go of the hurt, but it is where you process the hurt and you take the things that you experience as lessons, right? As opportunities for growth, as information that you now know in order to protect yourself better. Right? These heartbreaks can sometimes just be like life's experience, right? And we don't want to ignore them because those life experiences, they make us who we are. Like my biggest heartbreak, of course, was losing my husband. Okay. My husband was my best friend on the whole world. He was the greatest man. And you can't dispute it because he's not here anymore. But let me tell you, my husband was the single greatest husband that ever lived. Okay. I'm just making that claim. So it sucks so much that he's not here. It sucks so much that I have to do life without him. And it broke me into a million pieces. But that's now part of who I am. It's part of my story. And not in a way that I'm going to hold on to it and be like, oh, woe is me. I am this sad widow, even though I am a sad widow because it fucking sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks. Okay. It sucks. But also, I'm someone who has seen deep pain. I'm someone who's experienced real, powerful love. I'm someone who I was validated and appreciated by someone outside of me. I experienced beautiful, beautiful things so that I know they're possible, right? And that I get to keep with me. No one gets to take that from me, that heartbreak. I don't get over it. You don't get over your heartbreak. What you do is you bring it in and you hold it close to you as some part of you that is precious, a part of you that is fragile, but a part of you that is a part of you, and it will forever be part of who you are in this moment and for the rest of your life. Okay. So we don't want to look at our wounds and our hurt as this burden that we have to carry. I want you to take the burden off your shoulders and put those bricks down on the ground to create the foundation of your resilience and your strength and your vision of the future that you want for yourself. That after heartbreak comes more, right? More opportunities, more love, more experience, right? Whatever that looks like. And it's up to you to forge that path. So don't hang on and chain yourself to the heartbreak. You bring it with you, you hold it close to you and say, you know what? Let's go. You and me, we are, heartbroken, but we're still here and we can still do something with that. And we can wrap up our heart and knowing that deep pain, we can be there to support others, right? Through their own deep pain. And we can do this, but we got to do it together. Okay. I hope that was helpful. Oh, Meredith, hi, I love you. Thank you for being here. And I will be back tomorrow. And tomorrow is the final step in these 7 steps of healing your emotional wounds. Please give me some feedback if you've been applying this, if you've been participating in this. Let me know if it has helped you in any way. And I really do appreciate you subscribing to my YouTube channel and checking off that little notification bell or digging that notification bell so that I can get some more viewers. Woohoo! Okay. I love you all. Keep shining your light.